Hey guys, Ash here from cursforward.com, and this is my review of the Galaxy Grand i9082. So guys, let's start with the dimensions here. The Galaxy Grand is 143.5 millimeters long, 76.9 millimeters wide, and 9.6 millimeters thick. So when you look at this phone, the first thing that comes to your mind is the Samsung Galaxy S3. And yes, it does have an uncanny resemblance to the Galaxy S3. The Samsung Galaxy Grand has a 5-inch WVGA LCD display. No AMOLED here, guys. What WVGA means is it's got 800 pixels this way and 480 pixels this way. And spread over 5 inches, that gives you a pixel density of 187 pixels per inch. And that's a little bit on the lower side here. Internally, it comes with a 1.2 GHz dual-core processor and 1 gig of RAM with 8 gigs of internal storage. But don't worry, you do have you do have the option to add micro SD cards, so the storage is expandable. So now you've got the regular Samsung Galaxy key placements, the volume rocker to the left, the power button to the right, the 3.5mm jack on top, the micro USB port on bottom with one microphone. You don't have a microphone on top. You've got the 8 megapixel shooter on the back with LED flash, the speaker grill, and on the front you've got the sensors, the earpiece, and the 2 megapixel front facing camera. Let me just open up the back here. You've got the 2100 mAh battery, similar to the one found in the Samsung Galaxy S3, the speaker, you've got 2 full-size SIM slots, and you've got your micro SD card slot over here. And in the front, you've got the menu and back capacitive buttons with the physical home key. Once you turn on the Galaxy Grand, you're greeted with the all too familiar Samsung's nature-inspired Touchwiz overlay. And this is similar to the ones found on the Galaxy Note 2 and the Galaxy S3. Yes, the flagship software right here on the Galaxy Grand. And with Jelly Bean 4.1.2 out of the box, the Galaxy Grand is very smooth and it's snappy as well. So as you can see, that's Android 4.1.2 Jelly Bean. So Project Butter is there in all its goodness, so it's buttery smooth and apps open really quick. Just to show you, that's all it takes to open up Gallery or okay, the Play Store was already open, I'm sorry about that. Say for example, to launch the camera, everything is real quick and it's fast. And with the Nature UX over here, you get a lot of features from the Galaxy S3 and the Galaxy Note 2 ported over. For example, just pull down the notification bar and you've got the quick toggles that you find on the S3 and the Note 2. And just head on over and you also have the multi-window option over here, which means press and hold the back button and you get the multi-window bar over here, and you've got a preset set of apps here that you can use to multitask. And not only this, you also get the pop-up video player. Let me just go into Gallery. And you have the pop-up video player over here. Resizable as well. The pop-up browser is missing though. Alright, let's quickly go into settings here. And you've got a lot of features again, like I said, ported over from the S3 and the Note 2. For example, you've got a whole set of motion features that include direct call, wherein when you're looking at a contact or you're looking at a text message, just pick up the phone, put it to your ear, and the contact gets dialed. That's a pretty decent feature. You've got Smart Alert. You pick up your phone when you have a missed call or a missed notification. The phone vibrates, letting you know. Double tap to top. It does exactly what it says. When you're in a menu or when you're in a list like the contacts, just double tapping takes you to the contact at the top of the list. Going back, you've got tilt to zoom. You've got pan to move icon. You've got pan to browse images. You've got shake to update, turn over to mute or pause. So say for example you're getting a call, just turn over your Galaxy Grand and it mutes. So you also have your regular palm swipe to capture. And you've got your palm touch to mute or pause. Say for example you're listening to music, just put your hand over the phone and it pauses. Now apart from this, you also have other features like your home screen mode, wherein you've got a basic mode which is your regular Touchwiz, and you've got easy mode. This gives you bigger widgets and bigger fonts as well. So in case you're just moving over to Android, this will ease the learning curve. This is something that's pretty good. You also have the blocking mode, which is similar to the do not disturb mode found in iOS devices. So with this, you can set certain time periods where you can disable incoming calls, notifications, alarms and timers, and you can still allow a few contacts through so that you don't miss your important calls. So that's again a nice feature. And going into display, you've got Page Buddy. So Page Buddy is in case you plug in earphones or you dock your phone or you go more into roaming, you get a certain few preset icons pop up on your home screen. So let me just show you an example. So here are my earphones. I'm just going to plug it in. And this is what shows up on your home screen. So you've got your music player, your video player, and some apps that are recommended. Pull down your notification bar and you get even more recommended shortcuts. So this is another nice little feature here. And now let me just go into settings and turn back to basic mode. You also have the smart stay option where the screen stays on as long as you're looking at it. The front camera tracks your eye movements so that the screen, the display does not turn off when you're actually reading something. Maybe you have a different timeout setup, but if you're using the phone, if you're reading it and if the camera is tracking your eyes, the screen does not turn off. This works fine more often than not, so it's a great feature to have there. But then again, what's noticeable here is that the smart rotation feature, where the camera tracks your eye movement again to set the orientation of the phone, that is lacking over here. Just wanted to mention it, guys. And guys, since this phone uses two different SIMs, you've got a separate SIM card manager for that. So this is pretty good, as in you can receive incoming calls while you're using the data on a different SIM, or you can also keep both SIMs always on, which means you will receive calls from both SIM cards even during calls. But then again, the downside to this is that it drains your battery faster. So guys, when it comes to call quality, it's been pretty decent. I've had no issues, no dropped calls, and the person at the other end of the line has more often than not been able to hear me clearly. It's very good, but not as good as say the Galaxy S3 or the Note 2, but it's right up there. It's really good. Alright, so now at first glance everything seems nice with the Galaxy Grand. Alright, it looks like the Galaxy S3. It's a lot cheaper than the Galaxy S3, and it seems snappy and it seems to be a great device. But then again, once we take a closer look, there are some issues. On paper, it comes with an 8-megapixel camera, but there are certain downsides to this. The first one being, this camera is not, don't let the 8-megapixel tag fool you. It is not the same camera that you find on the Galaxy S3 or the Galaxy Note 2. Over here you miss a certain few important features like say slow motion video or the burst mode. Slow motion video might not be something that everybody uses, but burst mode is something I found more often than not I found useful. So the shutter speed is pretty slow, so as you can see it takes quite a few seconds between pictures. So guys, the slow shutter speed results in quite a few features like the burst mode or the best shot and best phase that's found in the Galaxy S3 and the Galaxy Note 2 to be absent over here. This camera is more on par with the camera that's found in the Galaxy Note 1, the original Galaxy Note, And another thing to note over here is that with the front-facing camera, you do not have an option of shooting 720p videos, which is something that's available with both the Note 2 and the S3. And these generation cameras, the ones that are coming out right now, say for example with the HTC Butterfly, are even capable of doing full HD. So again, something I guess is worth mentioning here. Just a moment, running a little low on charge here. So 480p is the maximum you can do with a front-facing camera. When you look really close at this screen, at this phone, when you look at the sides, it tends to give off a cheap feel over here. When you compare it with, say, the Galaxy S3, which is the flagship for Samsung right now. Let me just put both the phones together. They've got a similar design at first glance, but when you look closer and you look at the sides over here, you can see that the Galaxy S3 looks a lot more premium to the Galaxy Grand over here. And as far as the thickness goes, it's a lot thicker than the Galaxy S3. This comes in at about 9.6 millimeters, and you can feel the thickness. And again, just look at the 3.5mm headphone jacks over here, and similarly the micro USB ports. And you can see the difference in quality between the Galaxy Grand and the Galaxy S3. Even with regards to the buttons over here, the physical home button, just I don't know how well you're going to be able to hear this, but I just wanted to show you anyway. So I'm just going to keep pressing the button on the Galaxy S3 right now. Alright, and now on the Galaxy Grand. Let me do it simultaneously. I hope you guys can see the difference over there. The button on the Galaxy Grand feels flimsy. The Galaxy Grand is just, the screen on the Galaxy Grand is just 0.2 inches more than the Galaxy S3. But the Galaxy Grand overall weighs 162 grams. That's about 29 grams more than the Galaxy S3. It's right there. It's closer to the Galaxy Note rather than the Galaxy S3 in terms of weight. So guys, let's go ahead and run a quadrant benchmark test over here. Let's see what Quadrant Standard has to say. So guys, when it comes to dual SIM phones, we usually don't get a lot of top-end devices which come with dual SIM technology, and Samsung has tried to step up and provide a device which has decent specs but with dual SIM capabilities. But then again, the screen is one place where they've failed, and there are quite a few notable omissions over here. Say for example, you do not have haptic feedback. That is, when you tap the menu or back buttons, you do not get a vibration, or even when you type on a keyboard, you do not get any vibration. So that is something that we get on real low-end devices. So that is one omission which is really questionable over here, and it really irks me to the core. The most probable reason why Samsung did it is to conserve battery life, because dual SIM devices tend to drain battery real fast. But then again, that's no excuse for omitting something as basic as haptic feedback. So for cost cutting, apart from not using an Exynos processor and AMOLED technology, NFC and Gorilla Glass are missing as well. This device hits 3,654 on Quadrant Standard, and that's okay. It's not too good, but it's okay for a mid-end device. So guys, another thing to keep in mind if you're thinking of buying the Galaxy Grand is the internal storage. Yes, there is options to expand the storage via micro SD cards, but the internal storage comes to about 3.9 gigs, because the rest is being used by the operating system, and there's just 8 gigs that's available to start with, so it's only 3.94 gigs that's available. So again guys, keep in mind that with Jelly Bean you cannot actually transfer your apps and data, your apps actually from the internal SD to the external. So game data or apps that you download are gonna have to be limited to the 3.94 gigs internal, unless you go ahead, root your device and find some mod for it, and so on. So again, another thing to keep in mind, another cost-cutting measure from Samsung that you need to keep in mind before if you decide to choose this device. So another important thing when it comes to choosing a phone is the battery life. So over here, the same 2100 mAh battery that you find on the Galaxy S3 is what the Galaxy Grand uses. But the battery life is a little lesser while compared to the Galaxy S3. In most cases with moderate usage, I was able to get through a day. That's fair enough, but when with heavy use on both SIMs, the battery life tends to be a little on the lower side. So that is again another thing to keep in mind. But the battery life is definitely better than other competitors. Like say for example the Micromax Canvas 2. The Canvas HD is upcoming, but as far as the Canvas 2 is concerned, the Galaxy Grand is way better with regards to battery life. So that's pretty much it, guys, when it comes to the review of the Galaxy Grand. As far as conclusions go, I kind of feel that the Galaxy Grand is a mid-end phone that is kind of masquerading as a top-end device, a lower top-end device at least, so to say. Uh, it's got all of the Touchwiz features, most of the Touchwiz features found on the premium line, the Galaxy S3 and the Note 2. It's got most of those features, but then again the hardware is pretty weak. It's got a dual-core processor. It's got a very weak screen, and again it lacks a lot of premium stuff, like the way it's right from the way it's built to its weight, to the lack of NFC, to the lack of haptic feedback. It misses out on a lot of stuff, and even the camera again is not really top of the line. It's okay. It's got a pretty slow shutter speed. So before you buy this phone, there is something you need to keep in mind. At this moment right now, this phone might have a really good software specs, but then again the Galaxy S4 is coming up, and what we've seen with Samsung is every time a major phone is released, be it the Note, be it the S3, or be it the Note 2, we've got a new ton of features. So will the Galaxy Grand get the same features? Probably not immediately, at least. So which means within another 2 to 3 weeks, Galaxy Grand is not going to have top of the line TouchWiz features. It's going to have previous generation TouchWiz features, and the hardware is already over a generation old, because this hardware is possibly comparable with the Galaxy S2 at best, and which means with the release of the Galaxy S4, you're going to have a phone with hardware specs that are 2 generations old. Is it worth spending 21,500 rupees, that's about $400 on this phone? Probably not. So guys, if you've seen my videos, you know that I'm a staunch supporter of Samsung. I like Samsung devices. I own the Note, I own the Note 2, I own the Galaxy S3. Last year I bought 5 phones for my videos, and 3 of them were Samsung phones. Apart from that, yes, I did buy a Nexus device just to to post videos on Android updates as soon as they're released. But all in all, I've been with Samsung devices a lot. I really like TouchWiz. But then again, the Galaxy Grand, if you're on the market for a dual SIM device, if I were you, I'd give it a pass. There are cheaper and better competitors out there. Say for example, the Micromax Canvas HD comes to mind when I talk about this. The phone is releasing for 14,000 Indian rupees. That's about a little less than $300, and it comes with a 720p display and quad-core processor, so it's got better specs than the Galaxy Grand. Yes, if you go for the Micromax or any other competing phone, you will be losing out on TouchWiz. But even for me, a person who really likes TouchWiz, I seriously would be willing to make the trade-off, because spending almost 400 plus dollars on a device that's almost 2 generations old, hardware that's almost 2 generations old, I don't think it's really worth it. Better bet, if dual SIM is not your cup of tea, but you still like Samsung, you want a top of the line device, almost around 50 million Galaxy S3s have been sold. The Galaxy S4 is launching in a couple of weeks. So there are going to be a lot of people who are selling off their Galaxy S3 at this point of time. And a pretty good Galaxy S3, a used Galaxy S3, you can find it for about around $400 unlocked. That's in India, you can get it for 19-20,000 bucks. I have friends who got it for about 20,000 bucks, so you'd be better off picking up a used Galaxy S3 rather than going for the Grand at this time. If dual SIM is still the thing, if dual SIM is something that you really want, You can go with the Micromax HD or Canvas HD or UMI, a Chinese brand. UMI is coming out with the X2 in India. That's again about $300. Quad-core processor, full HD display with 2 gigs of RAM, and that's pretty good. But then again, yeah, going for a Chinese phone, you also always have issues with warranty. You don't know whether it'll be honored. That's always there. But these guys have set up in India, are selling it. So just Google it, UMI X2. They still haven't started taking orders, but they probably should by the time you're watching this video. So that would be a possible option for you guys. Again, guys, it's just that generally when you see people reviewing, they tend to sugarcoat stuff and giving a negative review, and I really don't want to go down that lane. You're either going to love this video or you're going to hate it. Guys, I'm going to come right out and say it, the Galaxy Grand is not worth the price that they are charging. It's being heavily advertised, but it is not worth it. It's kind of coasting on the Galaxy name here, having similar software specs to the Galaxy S3, trying to look similar to the Galaxy S3, but it is, if you take that away from the Galaxy Grand, it is not really worth about $400 that they're charging for it. It is not worth it. You're better off with any other phone. So again, just to put things in perspective, I have links to buying the Galaxy Grand from Amazon in the description, and I am an Amazon affiliate marketer. So if it'll be easier for me to give it a positive review so that somebody can go through my links and actually buy it so that I get paid a commission. But then again, with a clear conscience, I cannot really say that the Galaxy Grand is a device worth buying. So please don't go for this. So I'm just being honest here, guys. Again, a Samsung fan. These words coming out of the mouth of a Samsung fan, a really diehard fan. So has to carry some weight there. So that's pretty much it, guys. I will be getting the Micromax Canvas HD as well, and I will do a side-by-side comparison. Give it a week or two. I will do a side-by-side comparison, and I'll try to get my hands on the UMI X2 as well. So if you guys are really in the market for a phone right now, I will definitely get the Micromax Canvas HD. I've already pre-ordered it. The UMI X2, they're not accepting payments right now, but if and when they do, if I can, I will order that as well, and I'll do side-by-side comparisons of all 3 devices, and you can go ahead and check it out and pick out whatever you want and order it. So the important thing here is for you guys to hit the like and subscribe button. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and hit the like and subscribe buttons. And if you want to help me out, if there's anything you want to order online, go through my links to Amazon from the description, because like I said, every time you guys go through my links, and if you end up purchasing something, I tend to make a few cents to a few bucks depending on the value of the purchase. So that's pretty much it. For the full written review, head on over to curseforever.com, and this is Ash from curseforever.com signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye bye now.